How can we tell that you go to Pismo?
Yeah, the rust.
What's up, guys? We are out here at Mitch's house. Freaking SenCal pre-runner dude who has been holding it down over here, man. He's the guy who's been like helping a lot of these guys develop their trucks, helping them promote only A-arm suspension.
Not anymore.
He's the IBEAM dude out here, so I'm actually gonna hand this off to my boy Evan and kind of steal it back like hot potato. Take it away, my friend.
Hot potato. We're with the homie Mitch. Say hello.
Hello.
Hello. And this right here is the infamous Tundra.
I actually originally built this truck for somebody else in 2010, and I built like a simple A-arm kit on leaf springs for a buddy of mine, and I fell in love with the truck personally. He went off to the military and sold me the truck. So from there, it just evolved into this madness of always wanting more.
And so begins the addiction.
Yeah.
Call the hotline below, and we can help you through your pre-runner addiction. No, but yeah, dude. I mean, you've had this thing for
How long?
For 10 years now.
10 years,
10
yeah.
years. So I guess we could kind of just jump into the truck.
Yeah,
right?
so
Go for
basically
it.
this thing started out as a stock truck. You built it for a friend, a mild build with leaf springs and an A-arm kit. You acquired the truck, and then you eventually just decided in the last, year or
About
so?
almost 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
That I wanted to beam it.
To beam it.
Yeah, I linked it. So I wrecked it in 2013 in Pismo, just a real simple 15-foot dune. It was going real slow.
How can we tell that you go to Pismo?
Yeah, the rust.
This is what everybody says. They're just like, I'm not going to Pismo. Why not? Because it'll rust your truck. Well, it actually will, but I mean, what do you do to I'm asking the wrong guy.
What do you do to prevent the rust?
I used to.
I
but,
don't. He doesn't.
It just got out of hand, and
You were like,
got
you know
away from
what?
me. I'm over it.
Let's
I'm
just
over it.
It's a
go with
patina.
it.
It's a patina
It's
look.
patina
It's
now.
patina look.
It
you
just
know?
makes it
This
look
thing's
more
almost. This
experienced.
thing's. You know, it's what year is this truck? 2001, 4?
2004.
Oh, yeah. Well, so okay, so it's not really classic quite yet. But
Look, guys, the classic look is in. Okay, people are going. Well, no, actually, people are doing that.
the vintage, the vintage look, yeah.
The Rust Lab doing it on purpose.
Yeah. That fool, rusted his whole truck for no apparent reason. Yeah. So you've gone through the pace the last couple of years. You've been messing with the beam. We've seen your beams on Brad's truck.
Well, what had happened is I started building this beam kit for myself, and I pretty much had it all done. It all cycled right. All the geometry was there. I had it where I wanted it, but I just kind of ran out of time to finish it. So it was sitting as a roller, but it needed plumbing and just all the various stuff to make it drive. And Brad had kept breaking racks on his truck. He was like, you know what? I'm just gonna pull the trigger and beam my truck. So my truck went on hold, and we built another set for his. Basically, everything's exactly the same except just the mounts to fit a half-ton Chevy.
Gotcha. Okay, so let's go over it then. Okay, so let's just start from the top. So you got the factory Toyota 4.7 liter. This is the first generation.
Yeah, it's all stock. Just some pace setter headers to get rid of the factory cats and make it simple for the exhaust.
What do you have to say about the Toyota 4.7 liter?
Can't kill it. Yeah, I've tried. I have legit tried. I used to actually tow with it as a pre-runner. I used to tow the To the Moon truck with it, and I'd try and kill it. It just doesn't die.
Tell us about the suspension in here.
All right, so when I beamed this, I pretty much cut everything off that I had on here before. Started with just 2 frame rails. I cut the crossmember out. My goal was to build a beam kit that pretty much fit any half-ton, so I can use them on multiple platforms like Brad's. I based the wheelbase, kind of off Toyota truck wheelbase, 93 inches. Actually, a lot of what Jono with the Psychotic Tundra, a lot of this is based off Roy's beams.
Nice.
Give a lot of credit to him. I really looked up to a lot of stuff that he did.
So going off of that, so what size shocks could you fit in here? These looks like some big boys.
Yeah, so I run an 18-inch 4.0 bypass in the front, and then kind of uncommon I'm running a 14-inch coilover behind it to space the shocks out. So I did something a little different. I wanted the bump stops to bump off the center of the spindle bolt instead of have a ton of leverage on the beam. So I was able to fit the bump stop in between the shocks and float it so it actually bumps here on the spindle, where I'm gonna eventually shorten these up so it stays out of the bump zone more, and there's just a lot less leverage on the beam, on the engine cage and the frame and everything else.
Nice, dude. And then what size are these shocks again?
4.0s.
4.0s, and then what's the size?
It's an 18-inch 4052 tube.
Dang, dude. And then you're running the 2.5 behind it?
2.5 behind it.
Okay, right on, man. Very cool. That's a big ass shock.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a whole lot of shock.
Tell us about these beams then.
So
they're like a triangulated, so they meet at the same point.
Yeah, it's a center mount. Yeah, center mount beam kit. The center mount really helps with caster loss. So with I-beams, you lose a little bit of handling with like between A-arms and beams, and so we tried to achieve as much as we can to where it still steers good and wants to turn in the corners good, as well as go faster over the whoops. So with the center mount, it helps lose less caster as it cycles, and caster is what keeps the wheels straight. It also keeps the tires from interfering the radius arm, so you can push the radius arm out as far as you can, closest to the spindle pivot when it steers.
Let's show everybody what a radius arm is back here, just so people kind of know. Right on. Is this how it's set up on Brad's truck, or was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, exact same layout, exact same dimensions, and everything on Brad's trucks. The only difference is just the mounts that mounted it to the frame.
Very cool, man.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
So, and then what's the wheel travel in the front?
24 in the front and 28 in the rear.
Camberg hubs?
Camberg hubs, front and rear, and then Wheelwood four-piston calipers.
Nice, dude. Okay, cool. Yeah, take us through the back, man.
A couple of years ago, I raced Prim on A-arms and leaf springs, and I thought about racing again on leaf springs, and then one day I just decided I'm over it. So I just cut my truck in half.
Oh, shoot.
Forced myself to back half it. So I built some.
There's no turning back after that.
No, it kind of pushes you to do it, especially when it sits in your driveway.
Right.
So I just cut it behind the cab and started pulling measurements and holding tubes up there to try and figure out which direction I wanted to go. And before you know it, just kind of starts to unfold, and this is what it's turned into. The links I had gotten from a file from a buddy, so I had those cut and bent.
So one of your buddies helped you with like the CAD design of this thing?
He had actually paid someone and got the files.
Okay.
So he had bought this design, so he let me use it.
Nice.
They were the exact length that I had wanted for the geometry that I wanted to set this up with.
Okay.
So it saved me a lot of time.
These look beefy as hell.
Yeah, I haven't broke them yet. They take a beating.
Let me see. So there's your up travel right there. You got a ton.
Yeah. And that was one of the main goals of doing the back half, is that the truck would still sit low, but it would have a lot of up travel at ride height. I kind of learned through the years after linking a few trucks, kind of progress and figure out what works good. And I've actually been pretty surprised. I just went to King of the Hammers for my bachelor party, and I hit some big whoops out there, and I was real happy with it.
If you notice, the patina has continued from the front to the back of the vehicle. So
This is the custom Rust-Oleum patina.
rust color.
What do you think, Ashia?
I noticed this.
What'd you notice?
Oh yeah,
Just
yeah.
married. That's
I
awesome.
drove this to my wedding. I had always dreamed that I'd be able to drive my race truck to my wedding, and so
Hell yeah, dude.
got married last month, and
Co-driver Grace.
So she must be an awesome woman to deal with all your off-road addiction.
yes, bless her heart.
Yes.
She kind of just jumped right in and became a natural. It was awesome.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So what size fuel cell are you running here?
This is just a simple 32 gallon right now. I plan the back half for a 90 gallon someday.
Oh, wow.
So eventually, when I want to spend big boy money and get a Harman fuel cell or something custom, I have the room for it.
Dang, 90 gallons, huh? Well, what's your MPG on this thing? Do you know?
Yeah,
What do you think it is?
Wide open, like in the sand, it gets like 5.
Okay. I guess another thing is rear end.
So when I did the beam, setup. I also updated the rear end. I got a camber housing.
Nice.
I went from a flange axle to finally full floater, some camber hubs.
Hell yeah, man.
40 spline, and then Alec Navarro built my third member.
Okay. And he's part of the whole like Central California dude. Hey, there's Alec right there.
And he's built all my discs.
Nice.
Yeah, only guy I trust with that.
Hell yeah, man. Very cool. So he's the guy up here to hit up. Cool, man. All right, so I guess we could kind of jump into the inside.
Okay.
Right on. So we got like a full on race looking cage in here. Big old tall door bars and whatnot.
Nothing pretty here, just kind of all business.
Yeah, all business, all business. You guys built them to race them, right?
Yeah, just race and be strong, really. Safety is our number one thing. You know, it's kind of my cage is hard to get in, but my main concern was just if I wadded it up good, I wanted to make sure it doesn't be safe.
Yeah, yeah, because, you know, there's no airbags in here. So, you know, if you die, you want to die like men, but be safe at the same time, I guess. You've retained the stock dash for the most part?
Of it, yeah.
Yeah, okay, right on. We got our shifter here. Now this has the Toyota transmission in it still?
Yeah, still stock Toyota transmission. With Cole Hain went through the valve body and did some stuff, but for the most part, just all stock.
Yeah, and the stock Toyota transmissions that came in, these are kind of already a little bit of a...
They work good. Their main problem is the second gear sprag brakes. I broke 2. I just kind of forced myself to learn how to rebuild these. So I did both of them. They're real simple, but if you can keep out of second gear, they're real strong. This one's lasted forever.
Right on, man.
So
we got the Hoon handle, of course. The Willwood Hoon handle.
Oh yeah.
Right on. How's it good? Does it work good?
It works fantastic.
The interior looks like it's been pretty gutted and ready for race. This cage, man, is just like crazy stout. Like
a little overkill, but
better be overkilling than underkilling these things. So excellent, man. Everything's nice and tight. Your fab work in this area, in my opinion, is probably the best.
Thank you.
Yeah, man, for sure. Yeah, so what's next on this thing?
Next step is I would like to actually disassemble the entire truck to pieces and panel it and finish like the firewall and make it nice and sealed and tight, and then paint it all nice where it actually won't rust. And then after that would be horsepower. Just focus on motor and transmission and just make it faster. Because now it's got the suspension to go faster, I'd like to push the limits now with adding horsepower and all that stuff.
It's a never-ending battle.
Yeah, it never ends.
Never ends. Right, James?
Shut up, Evan. I'm over here all... Actually, a couple questions.
Yeah, so speaking of Mitch being a fabricator, you know, we're at his house in his garage, and the first thing you see is like this giant plasma table that like came out of like a manufacturer or something. Oh, and look at this. So you see this? Dang! Terra Crew built to destroy. I have this big ass piece of plate, dude. That's rad.
That's awesome, dude.
We got some beams. Looks like you cut out some beams here. And some...
Oh shoot! It's spelled wrong. No, just kidding.
Yeah,
you scared him. Oh man, that thing cost. That's a $50 piece of plate. Yeah.
Actually, this morning, my roommate Barry, he bought that gem, that white, nice little Chevy pickup right there. He rode in Brad's truck out at the Barstow cleanup, and it convinced him to sell his dirt bike.
Oh shoot!
So
it begins.
Yeah, so it begins. So he went to the swap meet and got all those goodies, and then I convinced him to buy that pickup. So we're gonna beam that thing. So this morning we were cutting out some beams for him.
I also noticed this gem, man. Like this is like a piece of history sitting in here, dude.
That's right.
Yeah.
Mark Post, man.
Dude, Post was watching all the old Riviera racing videos, and Post was legendary, dude. His truck was the fastest.
All right, so what else around here? We got a lathe here. Nice bandsaw. That's a big old professional bandsaw. And then this is a mini sprint chassis.
Micro
sprint.
My roommate builds micros for driven.
Oh, okay, cool.
So he's been social distancing.
Yeah. And you got a couple welders here, so you're fully outfitted in here to pretty much do whatever you need to do.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
You know, you could always never have so many tools, but
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, hey man, thank you so much for letting us come down. I mean,
yeah, man, thanks a bunch.
That with the boys, and maybe you guys can take us to a local spot.
Yeah, I'd be excited to do that.
Let's do this.
I think we can do it. Once again, you guys, if you liked what you see on this channel, drop a like, drop a comment, subscribe, so we can keep doing what we're doing and bring you guys awesome content. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.